What is going on YouTube? In this video, I'll be sharing how to find a landlord that's willing to allow you to use his property for Airbnb, Homeaway, VRBO, or Verbo, as they now just rebranded themselves, and many other home sharing websites. What's going on, guys? My name is Robert. I'm an Airbnb host here in the Midwest, and in today's video I'm sharing my experience on how I was able to acquire my first Airbnb listing through the rental arbitrage method, and I'm going to share with you my experience and how I think you guys could take what you can from it. Obviously, I'm no Sean from Airbnb Automated. That guy is insane. I watched one of his recent videos and he said he's at 60 listings and he's doing $2 million a year in revenue. That's completely mind-blowing to me. But the fact of the matter is, I'm in a totally different market. He's in a downtown metro area. He's doing rental arbitrage through apartment complexes that are really nice, high-rise apartments. Very different ballpark. If you guys are more curious on how to get started in a metro area, I definitely advise you guys to go check out his channel. I'm sort of the guy that does the single-family homes, and that's kind of where I want to build my brand. Now, of course, as time goes on, you want to do whatever works and whatever is most efficient. So, who knows what the future holds, but for now, I'm sharing with you my experience as a single family home rental arbitrage host. Before we get started with this video, if you guys don't know, I created a Facebook group called Airbnb Mastery through rental arbitrage. You guys are more than welcome to join that Facebook group and just bounce around ideas, see what's going on. It's great to have a community of people doing the same thing that you are. Whenever you get started, it gives you, moral support, it gives you backup. So be sure to check that out. I'll drop the link down below. So initially what I first started to do, I started to look at properties on the market. Now granted, this took a while. It took a lot of me going back and forth, and in my mind, I was running numbers on each property that I found that was a potential property. And it was always sort of in the air. Nothing really fell into place until I finally locked in a meeting that actually went my way. But before that, I'm going to go through how I actually started. So everyone around the globe, right? Everyone is facing different markets. The ball game is played differently in different areas, I guess I should say. And for people here in America, this is how simple it was for me. I got on Facebook Market and I would look at places for rent. Now, a lot of stuff on there is not the nicest, it's not the best quality, but regardless, the first property that I saw was actually like a crack house, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know it was until I drove there to meet the landlord for the meeting, right? Because they were going to show me the place. And I immediately knew that this was not somewhere I would want to host. And that was kind of, one of, it was a hit or miss type thing. So I checked Facebook Market, I checked Craigslist, and I checked online. Any of you guys who are looking for real estate, you guys know how easy it is just to search online. You have realtor.com, you have Zillow, you have all these websites that show you what's available on the market and what's not. I already knew from the podcast that I listened to that inspired me with this idea that all I would have to do was go through as many landlords as possible until I found one that was willing to work with me. And that's sort of how it went. I remember my first interaction with a landlord. I didn't have anything planned. I just showed up and I winged it. And it was quite embarrassing, but they told me, they're like, hey, at least you asked, what's the worst that could have happened? So yeah, the first interaction I had was with a property that I really, really wanted. I really thought this would have worked out in my favor. I sort of visualized it in my mind. I was like, this is the perfect property. This is going to do me the best revenue. It's really close to where I live, so I can just go there and clean it. No biggie. But the landlord immediately heard Airbnb and she's like, no, absolutely not. I was kind of like left stuttering. I was like, and it kind of just played out really awkwardly towards the end. And I was like, well, thank you for your time. And she's like, well, at least you asked. What's the worst that could have happened? That was kind of my first interaction. And from there, I built a plan. I built an actual presentation that was worthwhile. I remember one of the meetings, this guy was very rude to me. And he literally told me, he's like, dude, you're wasting my time. Get out of here. Kind of triggered me a little bit. I was like, why are you so mean to me? Like, I didn't do anything wrong. But there are people out there who don't want to hear it. He was an older guy. He probably has never heard of what Airbnb was. He probably thought I was trying to scam him or something. He's like, dude, you're wasting my time, leave. And that was it. That was another property that I really wanted to acquire, right? I visualized it. This property's gonna be the best. It's in this great area that I did a lot of research on in this market. It's just one of those things about trial and error. You just have to do it until you figure it out. And then from there you can scale, you can move forward. And like I always say, with an existing property, you have social proof. You have proof that the landlord is happy with what is going on in his property. And that's all you need to go to the next landlord and say, this is working for this guy, I can make it work for you as well. And that's literally all there is to it. I'll set up more meetings, and then after about 6 meetings that I had with landlords and with property managers, I ended up finding one who was willing to let me use his property. In order to find a landlord, you just simply find properties that are on the market for rent. And the way that I found the property that I currently use to host, I literally drove by this neighborhood, which I specifically chose this neighborhood because it was close to an attraction. It was close to Wonders of Wildlife here in Springfield. It was close to MSU, it's a college, a university. And it was close to Mercy Hospital, which is a hospital here in Springfield as well. So it was literally like in the perfect location. This neighborhood is in like the perfect location within a really good distance between all these attractions. I thought this is gonna be the neighborhood that's going to get me my first property, and it definitely did. Just to backtrack, the guy that actually told me to get out of his face, that I'm wasting his time, that was actually the neighborhood that I ended up targeting, and I locked in my first property. I made a video talking about how to pitch a landlord, and you guys can find these all on my channel. I'm not gonna go into depth on how to pitch them. This is just how to locate them. I didn't really look at apartment complexes. I looked mostly at single family homes. You guys know that I do it out of a single family home here on my channel. I simply saw the for rent sign in the front yard. I called the phone number. I set up a meeting. I said, let me see your property. I'm interested in renting your house. Can I see the inside? That's pretty much the gist of me initiating the meeting. And once I was there, I let him know that, hey, I have this in mind. You know, I'd really love to rent your property, but for this purpose. And that's sort of how it went from there. It was all a matter of doing it enough times to where someone finally said yes. Now, I've already mentioned this in a few videos in the past. You guys can go find them. I've already touched up on the subject on how this guy loved Airbnb. And since he loved it so much as a guest and he's really enjoyed his experiences with it, he's like, hey, you know what, give it a shot. Like I said before, guys, this is just my experience. I'm nowhere near the level that Sean from Airbnb Automated is. Like, he's on a next level of insane volume. Richard from Short-Term Rental University is another Airbnb host who I respect here on this platform. And he's on another level as well, owning all of his properties. So it just gives you something to look forward to, guys. I'm gonna say it right here and right now. I'm being very open with you guys. I'm not like doing anything spectacular with what I got going on. I'm just doing it. If you wanna look at some massive operations, go look at those two channels. And I'm sure you guys already have discovered them and already have come across them if you're looking into Airbnb on YouTube. Be sure to leave a like on this video and smash that subscribe button. And join my Facebook group if you haven't already. I know a lot of you guys are already joining, so thank you guys so much. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.